If I wanted New Zealand to fail,
I'd begin by dismantling democracy. I'd strike at the heart of its fundamental concept of political equality for all citizens. I would dismiss the idea that democracy means one person, one vote, and that our representatives are accountable to the people. If I wanted democracy to fail, I'd claim that true equality only comes when you tilt the political playing field, and that it's okay for elected representatives to share power with appointees who are not accountable to the wider community.
If I wanted democracy to fail, I'd tell people their political rights are based on their ancestry and ethnic identity. I'd vilify those opposed to my new system of governance, while slowly normalizing the decline of the political rights of the many for the benefit of a few. If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I wouldn't give the people a voice or engage them in these. Instead, I'd let them know after decisions have been made and laws have been changed. But I wouldn't stop there. I'd remove local voices, centralizing essential services like water and health, and create a system of co-governance, giving a minority as much power as the majority.
If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I would erode the notion of equality before the law. Not all New Zealanders would be held to the same laws. I'd make complicated and vague law. I'd use language or customs without any certain definition. I would celebrate judicial rulings that decide that a system of law that is only available to some. I'd praise the country for being so forward-thinking for accepting such a brave change.
If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I'd discourage free thinking and open debate in our schools and universities. I'd ensure academics were unable to perform their role as the critic and conscience of society. I'd shun those with the courage to think for themselves and to speak out.
If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I'd undermine the understanding of our history and challenge the foundations the nation of New Zealand was built upon. I'd also influence the next generation. I'd teach them to view our country through the lens of the oppressed and the oppressor, and I'd ensure they know which one they are from a young age. I'd teach some children to feel entitled, whilst I'd make others feel ashamed. If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I'd dumb down the curriculum, making international knowledge and universal truths inferior to local myths and legends.
If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I'd undermine property rights. I would take the side of people illegally occupying private property, rather than the owner of the property. Police would turn a blind eye to illegal occupations. I couldn't do any of this under a true democracy, but I'd persuade the public that in truly just system a group based on their ethnic identity has more rights than everyone else. And I'd label as racists and bigots any who speak up against this.
If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I would buy the media's complicity. Instead of holding the government to account, the media would happily spread my message. And I'd vilify those wanting public debate of issues, labeling them racists or anti-government.
yes, if I wanted New Zealand to fail, I would question the government's legitimacy, undermine accountable representation, and proclaim that not all citizens are equal. If I wanted New Zealand to fail, I would prey on ordinary New Zealanders' goodness and decency. I would only need to convince them that it's all for the greater good. Yes, if I wanted New Zealand to fail, I'd begin by dismantling democracy. If I wanted New Zealand to fail,